Rumors are swirling that President-elect Trump is going to name a White House AI czar. Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. One of the big things that people are watching right now is how presidential appointments might impact AI policy in the years to come. Now we have rumors of what might be the most direct position to influence this space, with Axios reporting that President-elect Donald Trump is considering naming an AI czar. This is coming from sources inside the Trump transition team, and the way that they framed it to Axios is that the role is likely but not certain. In terms of the details, they are, of course, sparse. Sources suggest that this won't be Elon Musk himself, but that he, along with Vivek Ramaswamy, the two who are, of course, leading the new Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, will have a big role in determining who is the AI czar. That is somewhat concerning for other tech leaders with whom Elon has a touchy relationship. Interestingly, this is not the only czar being considered for the Trump White House. Bloomberg reported last week that the Trump transition team had also been vetting cryptocurrency executives for a similar role for the crypto industry. There is also a possibility, say the sources, that the AI and crypto roles could be combined under a single emerging technology czar. I, for one, am hugely hoping that that doesn't happen. I think that these spaces, while having a relationship with one another, and while I'd love to see those two czars work in close concert with one another, are fundamentally different and require different things, and I'd like to see them get their own consideration. In terms of what the AI czar will do, Axios says the AI czar will be charged with focusing both public and private resources to keep America in the AI forefront. Something that was established under President Biden's AI executive order, and which might be kept even though Trump plans to repeal that order, is that government agencies have all named chief AI officers. Theoretically, the White House AI czar could play a coordination role across all of those individuals. Another potential area of activity: we've discussed how DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, might not only be focused on trying to find obvious waste, but also think about how new AI-enabled processes could make things more efficient. Reports speculate that both of those functions could be supported by this AI czar. In other words, using AI to root out, quote, waste, fraud, and abuse, but also thinking about how AI could reshape processes going forward. It also seems likely that if this role is established, they will have to be closely connected to energy policy, given that one of the big constraints for future leadership is going to be the availability of energy. And Axios notes that an AI czar would not require Senate consent, allowing the person to get to work much more quickly. Speculation has, of course, started ramping up. One of the names thrown around, for example, is Max Tegmark, who's an MIT professor and AI safety advocate, and who some have reported has been influential in shaping Trump's views on controlled AI development. But then again, all of that is just speculation. The more interesting thing here is that Tegmark is a reminder of how much this role could shape the way the US approaches things. The difference between someone who is accelerationist-minded versus safety-minded could be enormous when it comes to how different policy is pursued. And so if this is a real thing, it is going to be worth following very closely. In the meantime, politicians continue jockeying to make AI policy. The latest comes from Senator Peter Welch, who has introduced a new bill aimed at making copyright enforcement easier when it comes to AI model training. Called the Transparency and Responsibility for Artificial Intelligence Networks, or TRAIN Act, the bill theoretically increases transparency into datasets. Copyright holders would be able to subpoena the training records of AI models if they have a good faith their belief was used to work to train the model. Developers would only need to reveal training material to the extent that it is, quote, sufficient to identify with certainty whether copyrighted works were used. Failure to produce would create a legal presumption that the AI developer did, in fact, use the copyrighted material in question. Welsh said that the country needs to, quote, set a higher standard for transparency around AI training, adding, "This is simple. If your work is used to train AI, there should be a way for you, the copyright holder, to determine that it's been used by a training model, and you should get compensated if it was. We need to give America's musicians, artists, and creators a tool to find out when AI companies are using their work to train models without artist permission." So far, attempts to sue AI labs around copyright infringement have been progressing at a fairly slow pace. The New York Times lawsuit against OpenAI is probably the most advanced. In that case, the judge ordered OpenAI to produce a searchable version of their training data for New York Times attorneys to scour through. We don't know whether they've found anything at this stage, but the process was marked by controversy when OpenAI accidentally deleted search logs, setting the process back. This law is aimed at streamlining some similar process, but the concern, of course, is that it swings too far in the other direction. We don't have right now solid legal precedent on whether using data to train AI models constitutes copyright infringement. Many labs have been signing licensing agreements in order to avoid lawsuits and the associated PR damage, but no court has had an opportunity to make a ruling on this point of law. This bill also doesn't settle the question of law. It simply introduces a clearer subpoena power when copyright infringement is alleged. Meanwhile, jurisdictions like Israel, Japan, and Singapore have created laws that classify training data as fair use. A16Z and others in the AI industry have likened use in training data as closer to reading a book than copying a book. Ultimately, this is going to be one of the most challenging balancing acts that we face, protecting authors, musicians, and creatives on the one hand, while advancing strategic AI on the other. Moving back to the technical side of things, Anthropic has launched a new tool for connecting AI assistants to external data sources. Called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, Anthropic are proposing it as an open source standard for data connectivity. MCP allows any model, not just ones produced by Anthropic, to draw data from business tools and software or content repositories. They wrote in a blog post, "As AI assistants gain mainstream adoption, the industry has invested heavily in model capabilities, achieving rapid advances in reasoning and quality. Yet even the most sophisticated models are constrained by their isolation from data. Trapped behind information silos and legacy systems, every new data source requires its own custom implementation, making truly connected systems difficult to scale." Alex Albert, the head of Cloud Relations, provided a series of examples of MCP being used to connect to GitHub and a generic search engine to demonstrate its flexibility. He wrote, "We're building a world where AI connects to any data source through a single elegant protocol. MCP is the universal translator. Integrate MCP once into your client and connect to data sources anywhere. Get started with MCP in less than 5 minutes. We built servers for GitHub, Slack, SQL databases, local files, search engines, and more. Like LSP did for IDEs, we're building MCP as an open standard for LLM integrations. Build your own servers, contribute to the protocol, and help shape the future of AI integrations." Even if that sounds like Greek to you, what's important to know is that open connectivity standards have a long history of being a powerful unlock once they reach mass adoption. Even something we take for granted, like the standard USB port, used to be dozens of different proprietary variants that were all incompatible. It's unclear whether OpenAI and other frontier labs will adopt an open standard, but Block, Apollo, Replit, Codium, and SourceGraph are all building MCP support into their platforms. Anthropic have also shared pre-built MCP servers for Google Drive, Slack, and GitHub. The company wrote, "Instead of maintaining separate connectors for each data source, developers can now build against a standard protocol. As the ecosystem matures, AI systems will maintain context as they move between different tools and datasets, replacing today's fragmented integrations with a more sustainable architecture." What I think is relevant here is that it's so telling about where we are as an industry. So much of what's actually exciting right now is not big, huge advances in model capabilities. It's these fundamental infrastructure building blocks that are coming online that in a few years or even a few months, it will be very hard to imagine a time before them. They're going to unlock a huge number of use cases and new opportunities. And so as small as they might seem relative to getting Orion or GPT-5, this is, I think, very big news indeed. For now, though, that's going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief Headlines edition. Next up, the main episode.